Welcome to another edition of the Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, the Professor Russ Stevens, Uncle Joe McLaughlin, and he's the barber to the stars, Hollywood Pete McGilvery. Well, we have another great show for you tonight, boys, so let's get it started. We start with the Super Bowl champion New England Patriots, who are defending their
At least
crown.
for a few more weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, a few more days, we hope. On Saturday, they're going to start the playoffs of the divisional round against the Kansas City Chiefs in Gillette Stadium. I'm nervous. I'm scared. I want the game to come, but I really don't want it to come. I have no sense. You should have a sense of how the Patriots are going to play, right? Moving into the playoffs, especially in the first round. I have no idea what
There's
Patriots
a lot of
team
moving
shows
parts
up.
to this one, isn't there?
There's been too much chaos in the last 6 weeks between the injuries, who's in the lineup, who's not in the lineup. There's no gelling of any of the units. And we don't know, even if we get all these guys back, are they going to be cohesive together? Are they going to play like a team?
Because usually we go into the playoffs playing well,
Yeah.
and that's not the case this year.
We used to own December.
No, we used to. That's right. We're usually 4-0 in December, 5-0.
Yeah.
After Thanksgiving, we're usually 5-1.
Yeah.
Well, the
Somewhere
method
around
is to ramp yourself up to the playoffs. They didn't do that.
It's been an odd year, really, from start to finish. It's been very odd. Yeah.
Has it been a fun year? To me, it hasn't been a fun year. This is not a fun team. Is it? They were all hungover from
No.
last year?
I think it's very hard for you to get full maximum enjoyment when there have been so many injuries. You know, it's just been, we've been
7
talking,
weeks.
right? We've been talking. It's like, it's just no fun. You lose Gronk, you lose Edelman, guys get injured, and all of a sudden you just, like, the Deion Lewis thing was so much fun those first. Remember when Deion Lewis was playing?
Sure. Right.
Like, it was so much fun to watch the Patriots those first few weeks.
Right.
And ever since then, it's just been one guy
Steady
a week.
decline.
Steady decline. And the question, Joe makes the great points. Who shows up? Can we just turn the light on?
Now we have an appreciation for offensive linemen, don't we?
Oh, my
Right.
God, yeah.
Well, I've held accountable Bill Belichick for 3 of the 4 losses. So I'm going to ask you, boys, what Bill shows up? Will it be the Bill? If now, just fans, if you're watching the game, kind of the things, and you're not going to get this from any other show. If Bill is engaged, if Bill is coaching up the troops, if he's down there, right, coaching up the defense, coaching up the offense like he was doing in that Super Bowl.
Do your job.
Right. If he's doing that stuff, then I say Bill's engaged. Right. But if he's standing on the sidelines by himself, catatonic, not talking to anyone, that shows me that A, that he's not engaged, and B, that Joe's right. He doesn't like this team, and he can't wait till the season's over either.
Well,
Maybe he's playing a little possum, too.
No, I don't think. I think the thing that the offensive line thing, I think, just is completely
Kind of
thrown
disgusts him. It disgusts
throwing him
him.
for a loop. You can't. I think he's like, I can't do anything if I can't trust my offensive line.
And his defensive line, he can't really trust either now that Easley and Salingo have been.
All right, but what is he throwing up the white flag? I mean,
No,
he's
I
gonna
mean, his
coach a
desire
team.
to win trumps all, I don't like this team, these guys aren't my guys, but he wants to win more than anything at all times.
But you have to admit that 3 of those 4 losses are on his head.
He's made some weird decisions this year.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you on that.
And he doesn't.
Unorthodox decision.
Well,
Yes,
I think he's
that's right.
delegated authority more this year. Let the special teams coach make strange calls. Let McDaniels make strange calls. That's what I think you guys are blaming on him. Is he's delegating his authority more this year, letting the coaches have a bigger say in what goes on out
so
there.
they don't leave.
Matt Patricia calls every play on defense now. He never sticks his nose in anymore.
Well, but it's the playoffs, Joe.
He'll be.
And I need him engaged.
Although,
and I think that's just something to see that when we're watching the game, those are kind of things.
begins and
Although
ends with Bill.
one
Yeah.
pushback on the man alone, no one around him making the decision was. That's what he did when he made the Malcolm Butler decision last year. When he looked across the field.
No, Ernie Adams.
No. But he looked across the field, and if you believe it, he saw something going on. He's like, I'm not calling timeout. That's the guy we wanted to help.
No, you're right, but he was so engaged
That's
that
the-
game.
that's the engaged Bill.
He was.
He also said Ernie was telling him there's no benefit to call timeout right now.
Interesting.
I think that was Belichick's greatest moment. Was the last
absolutely.
Super Bowl. So
Yeah.
Brookline's own, by the way.
Yeah, Brookline. So, all right. Now the second thing you need to look at for is Tom Brady engaged? And when I mean Tom Brady engaged is if all of a sudden the first set of downs, it's 3 and out, the O-line hasn't protected anyone. I want Tom Brady in the sidelines.
Throwing a
nutty. Exactly.
Totally agree
Because
with
if he goes back and starts moping with Josh Daniels
Yeah.
and whispering under his breath, that means he doesn't
He's given up.
He's given up too.
Didn't he just say, though, I'm not a very fun guy to play with come playoffs because I am engaged?
Okay, but then he needs to be that.
I said this to you. My biggest one, other than the offensive line, the obvious problems with the offensive line, my biggest concern over the last few weeks is they've been losing these games and no one's going bananas on the sideline.
They just go sulk.
You know, usually Brady's up in the offensive lineman's face or some defensive player is chewing somebody. It's been nothing. They've been passively losing these games.
Well, we don't have our guys. We don't have our A team out there. We're hurt. We're going to be all right. Come playoffs, we're getting all the guys back.
Hope so.
We're going to get that bye week.
Right.
This is what it is. We're going to get the bye week. We're going to come back strong. We're going to roll over everybody.
No, great point. If this was the NBA, and this is what great NBA teams do, right? They kind of
Celtics.
they go into
Absolutely, back in the day.
Well,
they go
you
into
only have 5 moving parts. This way you got 22 moving parts. It's a little more difficult to
Turn it on.
plug guys in and out.
This will really mean the regular season, and NFL doesn't mean anything.
We've never said that the regular season in the NFL doesn't mean anything. But the last 5 weeks of the NFL season may not mean anything.
And if they're able to turn the light on and all of a sudden become that team that I
like
mean,
the Giants in 07.
because we're in love with the past Patriots right now. We have faith because of the past Patriots that we think on Saturday that same team showing up. But our head tells us
Teddy Bruschi's not walking through that
no,
door.
he's not. Right. But our head tells us this is not that type of team.
We need playmakers from the defense. Someone on the defense has got to make a play sometime this season. It may as well be now.
I think they left Paul McCourty out there last week. He was a step and a half slow all day.
Yeah.
He
That
was
was not
still
fair.
hurt.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
he gave
he
it a
took
go.
one for the team.
He took one for the team.
And then our third one, Hightower, who I think is the key to the defense. We need Hightower healthy for the whole game, right?
They
He's
never
a
really gave him
playmaker.
a chance to get healthy.
Yeah, but he needs to be out there the whole game because that
he
defense.
makes Collins better.
He does.
He makes the defensive lineman better.
Yeah.
He makes the defensive backfield better.
Everybody feels good.
That's
Right.
right.
And he has and he can make a play for you.
So if you're watching that game and Hightower goes out, we are in
We're
trouble.
in trouble. Yeah. If Hightower goes out. It's like when Talib went out against the Broncos
Yeah,
a
it
couple
comes
years
on-
ago.
yeah.
It was
unravels.
over. We had no chance of winning that game. And I believe you're right on Hightower.
Yeah.
Well, when Rodney Harrison went down in the
Yeah.
the Carolina Super Bowl, all of a sudden a 3-score game all of a sudden became a nail biter.
Now, just one thing on this game, going into this game, because it's going to give us a lot of anxiety. This game is, but we tend to win like games that we think are going to be very difficult, or even that we might lose. We tend to play well in those
Scrap
games,
out,
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
You think about a game where you expected the Patriots to lose going in and they've lost, right? The Seattle game last year. I think that Baltimore game we were all very concerned about in the
Yeah.
playoffs,
Yes, right. Absolutely.
We don't lose too. Now, first off, we don't expect them to lose very often, but we get hit from the side. The games we lose are when we get hit from the side.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a really good
We
point.
tend to play well in this game.
Right.
Now, we could lose, like, if Pittsburgh beats Denver, we'll be sitting here next week saying, oh, we're going to friggin' crush Pittsburgh. And then that's when we get hit from the side. You know?
I think when the Patriots have an extra week to prepare for a team like they do this time, they're a pretty dangerous team.
But I believe it also teams have other teams' number. Bad teams can beat some certain good teams because they just have their number. The Ravens have our number. The Giants have our number.
Yes. And the question is, do these guys
do
have
the
our
Chiefs
number?
after last year? And I don't know why I
St.
remember.
Louis has Seattle and
That's
the
right.
49ers number.
But it's a sample size
Did
of
the
one.
Chiefs scare you guys, though?
Offensively, I don't see how they're going to score.
Andy
against us.
Reid's always been a thorn in his side.
Didn't Hoyer kind of cough that game up last week?
He did, but you know what scares me is because we depend on this, especially this year, on other teams making a lot of mistakes.
That's a great point.
And they don't
14,
make 'em.
15 penalties, and this Chiefs don't do that. So we're going to have to play this straight up, and we're going to actually have to be a Super Bowl
They
team.
play the Patriots, the old Patriots game. Get ahead, don't make any
Manage the
mistakes. Wait for the other team to make the mistakes and capitalize on them.
Now, on the
Alex
other
Smith
hand-
doesn't make too many mistakes, but
How
he's
many-
met his match this week. Belichick will try to confuse him.
Yeah.
How many people were praying for Cincinnati to win that game the other day? By the end of that game, I was bowing like, please send Cincinnati into Foxborough.
Oh, yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That would have been a layup.
Could you imagine?
Oh,
That's your point about making
Yeah.
mistakes.
Yeah,
like
right.
every 5 minutes they're going to make a crucial mistake.
Right, and AJ
Oh, you kill
McCarron.
them with misdirection, draw plays, things like that. Oh, they'd be in the backfield while you're running for a touchdown.
Yeah, and we don't get torched by bad quarterbacks
Ever.
in the playoffs.
Ever.
Not the playoffs.
Right.
So, and then just one more final point about watching the game, sports fans, is if the Patriots, I still can't get over the Jets divisional loss. many years ago. I was at that game.
Oh, that was awful.
That was awful. And I
It was a
hope
low point.
That was a real low point.
Yes,
okay,
it was.
And the reason they lost that was there was no immediacy, if you remember in that game,
right.
offensively.
And they'd beaten them 45-3 like 3 weeks
Yeah.
previous.
So if you don't see the Patriots go into hurry up offense at some point early in that game,
great point.
And that shows that Brady does not want to do that for his own personal safety, and we're in trouble
Doesn't
because
trust that offensive line.
he doesn't trust the offensive
Yeah,
line
but-
at all.
Edelman changes all the dynamics there because they don't have to block as long with him.
Well, I
Yeah,
think
but,
that's- I think
but
that's
you need a
Scott's point.
back.
Yeah.
He hasn't done that since Lewis because he could trust Lewis to pick up the blitz in those situations.
Yeah.
And then move out if the situation called for it. He could move out to the flat and be the safety valve. I don't think you trust James White that way.
I think, Scott, I think you make a great point. And essentially what you're saying is with Edelman, with White, who's been played several
He's
more
been getting
games
better.
since then, with Amendola, with a healthy Gronk, if they don't come out full guns a-blazing,
Right.
we're in trouble. Because that means they can't run the offense that we know and love.
Because we can't have a conservative game plan.
I thought that running back, he was a high point to the Miami game, at least,
Well, Steven Jackson, yeah, I mean, he showed a
was-
pulse.
No, but he was better than the week before, And
No, he was.
But you know what
And
I
if
want
he
him to
get,
do?
yeah, I think Pete's right. I don't think he got a chance in that game.
Right. Here's what I want him to do. I want him to be LeGarrette Blunt.
Yeah.
Right. In the fourth
Fourth
quarter with
quarter.
a lead to
Yeah.
suck the lead away. But if they come out and run the ball on first and
I'll
second
be
down in the first
disappointed,
two
yeah.
series,
Oh, my God.
I'm done. I'm
Yeah.
walking away from the TV. We all know how it's going to end.
I know.
Walk away.
I know.
You want to see the Patriots from the beginning of the year, not the end of the
That's
year.
right.
Yeah.
All right,
With
so,
different players.
so if I told you the game was over, all right, and I know the score, and the score was a wipeout, okay? Who wiped out who?
Oh, we wiped them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you have that?
I got that.
We
yeah.
don't.
right.
We do
It's
not.
not going to
turn-
be last year.
We do not turn the ball over enough to get wiped out against a team that's an offensive team like the Kansas City. We just don't turn it over that much.
But did you notice how
At
good
home.
the stripping is now in the NFL?
Oh, yeah,
That is
absolutely.
a big part of the NFL now, and it changes games, to your point about mistakes and turnovers.
Yeah, defenses are taught to just attack the ball almost to the exclusion
Simultaneously.
of the runner.
Right. All right, so we may be losing. Let's talk about. All right, so we're going to win this week. Okay, we're going to do predictions
Yeah.
in 1 second, all right?
On to Denver.
We may lose coaches. We may lose Josh McDaniels, and we may lose Matt Patricia. Tell me who goes, and will a victory or a loss make a difference in whether one of them goes or not?
I don't think McDaniels is going to go anywhere because I think if McDaniels does not take that Detroit job or that Giants job or the 49ers job next week, to me, it shows us that there's been some deal cut with them to be the next coach for the Patriots.
Those are
He's
great
never gonna
jobs.
He's never going to get any better for McDaniels.
Yeah.
Is this a
So
show?
for McDaniels, the number one job is New England Patriots. The number two job is probably the Giants.
San
San Fran.
Francisco.
And if he doesn't take his number two job, then you know he's got the number one
That's
job.
exactly
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, well, I think that if he doesn't have a job after this season, then
By the
he's
way,
going
He's
to
not going
coach.
to be an OC next year.
He's going to be coaching. No,
There
he'll
could
be an
be
OC.
He'll
if
be
he co-
assistant head coach.
What I'm
I
telling
think
you
he'll
is
get.
there will be some. This is the sports medium.
Yeah.
There will be some sort of weird, unprecedented co-head coach thing that happens with McDaniels and Belichick.
I'm sorry, Scott. I
Yeah.
can't take you seriously without the hat.
No, I agree with you. Yeah,
It's
I
going to
think
be something weird.
Oh,
Absolutely.
there won't be co-head
Yeah, but the
coach.
Patriots
Whatever
assistant
it's
head
weird.
coach.
Whatever
like,
they
Yeah,
want to
too
call
weird.
it, it's going to be.
Skarnecki had the assistant head coach title for years.
If any franchise does something, this franchise can get away with doing something weird like that.
All right, so prediction time, and because
Well.
yeah, I gotta get the hat on.
And you're going to tell us how
this
you
is
really feel, right?
Yeah.
This is going to be how you really deep
This
in
is,
your
of
heart
course,
feel?
this is really
Okay.
how I feel.
All right, I
It's
just
heart
want to
of
make
hearts.
sure.
What, I haven't put on the hat.
He's
in
not going to pull the
2016.
punches.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna start the prediction of the Patriots. Oh my God, it's warm.
Yeah.
You feel the rays?
Yeah, I feel it.
They're coming for 2016.
That's
Get
the Klieg
Get out of
lights.
my rays. No. All right, so
Lean in, Joe.
I think it's going to be a very close game. It seems like it's going to be nip and tuck. I think it's going to be low scoring. They're expecting rain and chilly conditions. So I am predicting 20-16, the New England Patriots beating the Chiefs in a very close game where it goes down to the end. Chiefs have a chance to win, and something crazy happens, and they don't. So there's my prediction. We'll start with Hollywood Pete.
24-10, New England.
New England Patriots. Wow. Easy game.
17 to 14.
Wow.
It's going to be bad, guys. I'm just buckle yourselves in. It's going to be a lot of anxiety on Saturday.
Professor.
17
The
to
latest
14.
forecast now is for dry at game time.
Oh, it is?
All the precipitation is
change
supposed
it.
to be done, but the field will probably not be in the best of shape. So I will go with the Patriots finally making a few plays on defense this year, and 27 to 10.
I told you things would be different this year. The Grandstanders. Joe is now AccuWeather.
Yes.
Uncle Joe, AccuWeather.
I've been following the weather on this because it makes a huge difference in how that game's going to be played. Because the Chiefs love a conservative game. That's their game.
Right, and then if things go slow, he's going to tell us the 15-day forecast for
Bruce Schwegler.
Bangor. Thank you. All right, there it's in. We have to talk about the NFL playoffs last weekend, and I have to start with the Cincinnati-Pittsburgh game.
Oh.
And I was very comfortable on my couch, sitting there with my boys and stuff, and all of a sudden, I didn't feel safe, right? I mean, it was like a gangland kind of thing broke out. Who's to fault there? I think it's the referees.
Oh, yeah.
I think that, look, we've been talking about it all year. They're just old farts who have no sense of how to take control of the game. No one ever gets kicked out in the NFL anymore, right?
That's a
But
great
I
point.
think that's because the NFL likes it's theater. This is good.
Yeah, but
This gets
everybody-
people talking.
Everybody in the world knew that Perfect was a ticking time bomb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
And
Yeah,
Pac-Man
I
Jones has
agree.
never
Yeah,
been
right. Pac-Man Jones is no-
an unhinged hand
They should be
grenade.
throwing guys out in the NFL at the same rate that they throw guys out in the NBA.
Right.
Right? Just you.
Yeah.
All right, you're out. Play the rest of the game without.
But it's good theater for TV.
know,
It
but
makes
after a
good
while,
TV
I-
No,
to keep
but
it
after a
going.
while,
That's just-
well, first of all, Mike Munchak, Hall of
Pulling
Famer
hair.
with the yellow coat, that's really good for Canton. He should get kicked out of the game immediately for doing what he's doing on the sidelines. Why is he still there?
No idea of Joey Porter going on the field. That
Yeah.
just made no sense. What is
He
Joey
should be
Porter doing on the
automatically-
field?
Yeah, is he medical personnel?
No.
And then he starts getting in with Pac-Man
Yeah.
Jones, and that costs the Bengals that
And they
game. I mean, that was outrageous to have two. I understand the unsportsmanlike penalty on Burfict. I understand that for that hit. Got no problem
That
with
was
it.
vicious.
That was vicious, no problem. But the other,
The
penalty
Pac-Man thing,
was
Oh, that was-
absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah.
Okay,
Totally agree with that.
First of all, why is Porter on the field? And you going to
There was a lot of people on the field then, though, wasn't there?
right? But
Yeah, but that's Pittsburgh coaching staff. They're not. The coaches aren't allowed on the field at any time.
But the referees, because they're old farts, have to have a sense that if you make this call, you are affecting the game. Okay,
They
you
affected all the games last week, the referees did.
right. But there was no reason to make the additional call. You give him a 30-yard
You
penalty.
already gave him 15 yards. Just get the thing cleaned up, get everyone off the field, and start to play the game.
Maybe
again.
they're waiting for instructions from New York.
I don't
And
know.
that's why they
It's-
dilly-dally.
It seemed to me at crunch time, if it was second, third down, throw it long and get the flag. That's what it seems like.
That was
Throw it
going on
long,
in
we're
that
going to get
Seattle
the
game.
flag.
Yeah, that was.
Well,
that
all
was
the games now.
yeah.
But it all starts with Goodell, who I hate, and it starts at the top. The organization of the NFL is in ruins right now,
corrupt.
okay? And it's crept down to the refereeing. Nobody is in those referees' ears right now. And they have full autonomy to do whatever they want.
I agree.
And that was embarrassing, right? It's 12:30 at night, and you can't sleep because it was uncomfortable.
Yeah, I agree with you. I get it's theater, but that you have a bunch more of those games, and it's going to start to turn people off.
And that's why they give them that throw it long and get the pass interference. They want the comebacks. They're going to throw that flag every time for the team coming back. If the team ahead throws the one deep down the field, they see nothing.
So, all right, so we assume the Patriots are going to win. We got to be rooting, obviously, for the Pittsburgh Steelers to beat
we
the
want it at
Broncos,
home.
right?
Right,
I mean, that's the.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But now with the injuries to Gentle Ben and Brown, it looks like the
That's a different
Broncos.
team. That's a different
hang
team.
on a second, though. Do we remember that Peyton Manning threw 17 interceptions to 9 touchdowns
Yeah.
before he got hurt this year?
I know.
If I'm the Steelers, don't you want Peyton Manning to play in that game?
Peyton Manning's still Peyton Manning. and it's a
I
playoff
think
game.
Peyton
Yeah.
Manning's a shadow of himself. If it's cold,
Well, against
what's-
that defense.
Bruce
though.
Schwegler, what's the weather going to be like in Denver? Do we know?
right,
Ooh, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of weather,
Snowing in the
wasn't it great to
Rockies,
see
that's
Bud
what-
Grant come out on that field?
Oh, my
Bud Grant
God.
was the star
Oh,
of the
my
weekend.
God, I
88
know.
years old.
What is he, 88?
88
With
on,
the
in a
golf
golf
shirt.
shirt.
Yeah.
Oh,
At
sensational.
-6.
Oh yeah, that was the World
I
War
wrote you
II
a text.
veterans.
I wrote
yeah.
you a text. I'm like, that
Forget
was
about
just-
rugged Yankees, those rugged
You
Vikings.
said greatest generation.
Greatest generation. Oh my God, you can't put
Oh
them
my
away.
God, it's
No
awesome.
way.
That was a moment.
But what was his record in the Super Bowl?
I know.
Oh,
four.
I know. But you gotta love it, right? I mean, that was NFL
awesome.
stuff. All right, so it's gonna be an exciting weekend. Hopefully, we'll have great things to talk about. I'm just gonna throw one more thing because I got. If the Patriots do lose, and I know that's sacrilegious, who do you think's gonna be blamed? Who is everyone going to be ripping on? Because come Monday,
Josh McDaniel.
Josh McDaniel. All right, that's your prediction. All right, Hollywood Pete.
No, wait. I'm not predicting that they're going to lose.
No. Just predicting.
Don't
no,
put
it's a
words in
dream.
our mouth that way.
Where's all the anger going to go to? Because it's going to go to. You can feel it's boiling
Oh,
right
it's
now.
going to go to Belichick.
Yeah.
If they lose.
Belichick and Brady.
It's
I
gonna-
mean,
no,
they're,
it's
they're,
not,
they're
Brady
the
will
key.
not get blamed for a lot, but Belichick will get blamed.
The
To your
last
point,
Kansas City loss was
offensive
blamed on
line,
Brady.
Offense, yeah, but
Yeah, but Brady's gone through so much through
he also
Deflategate.
has won another Super Bowl in the interim.
Remember, everyone had him
I
washed
understand
up?
that.
He's also
Life
been the
is
guy that's
different.
held that team together
Life's
all
different.
year.
Yeah, I
now
think,
than it
yeah,
was. I think
yeah.
Belichick.
Oh,
gets
yeah.
blamed.
I think
He's-
Belichick.
There's been enough people having the same conversation that we have, which is unorthodox decisions, weird decisions.
Yeah.
He's lost it. He's out of touch. He's bored.
There's no confusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
We
if
do
he's-
what's best for the team. That's it.
Well, I don't know, if viewers, if you watched that press conference after the Dolphins game, that was kind of scary. I mean, obviously, he doesn't answer questions, and usually he kind of mutters under his breath. But he was gurgling. He wasn't even,
And they're getting
coherent.
worse.
Yeah.
They're getting worse.
And look,
And those are hand-picked people who ask the questions.
Yeah.
Zolak always asks the first two. He's like sits at the right hand of the father.
yeah. But Belichick wasn't even remembering things. He said, "I don't remember
He
things."
just want to get out of there. He needs to take a nap.
I don't know. It seemed like Ronald Reagan the second term. Just so you know,
I know.
where's the Oliver North? Okay. All right. So we have to talk about the Red Sox because we have to ease into that because if next week it's not gone well, we have to have something, right?
All you want to do is talk about Xander. We got
Yeah.
playoffs going on.
No. First of all, I'm
With
gonna
a Daniel Nava.
yeah, no. Oh yeah. Well, so he signed with what, the Tigers?
Tigers, yeah.
Yeah, Tigers. So we could have, and maybe we'll have another celebration of Daniel Nava's career. All right. Well, first of all, I want to talk about John Farrell, and God bless him that he's healthy, but now all of a sudden he's chatty Cathy. He won't stop talking about personnel moves in lieu of that he's not the general manager of the team. So last week he said that Chris Young is going to play against all left-handed pitchers. What do you think of John all of a sudden talking about that couple of weeks before spring training?
We'll find out if he doesn't talk anymore because Dombrowski might say, hey, no.
Well, although
Maybe
it's-
he's being encouraged to talk.
You
well,
think so?
I think it's been interesting to watch Dombrowski talk as much. He laid out what his plan was at the beginning of the offseason.
He's doing a good
And
job.
every point in time, he said, "This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do." This maybe there's just this era of openness about what we're going to do, and we're so used to the other.
Or is maybe Farrell's playing with the house's money because he never thought he'd still be the manager of the Red Sox? Let's be honest.
Because Jason Varitek is going to be there.
Yes, he is. At some point. You watch.
It was the sequence of events that has kept him here.
It really is, right? I mean,
Sure.
Yeah. But there's going to be a short leash on John Farrell.
I would assume so.
Because, if
Jason Varitek is waiting in the
Jason
wings.
Varitek is waiting on the wings. He just got, he's in the Hall of Fame with the Red Sox.
Lavillo is the next
He is?
coach
Yeah,
of the Red
he just
Sox.
got into
The next
Hall of
manager
Fame
of the
with
Red
the
Sox
Red
would be Lavillo.
Yeah, I think they
you're
may
right.
have cut a deal with Lavillo
Yeah.
like they may have cut with Josh McDaniels.
He'll be the next.
I thought he was terrific, Lou.
He did a great job.
No, he was, and you could see that he could relate to the young players. So
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not going to
He
be
did
long.
a better job
He
mixing
did
them
something
in.
with nothing.
Yeah.
What would the record need to be? Like how many games in? Like 5 and 15.
Great
Ron?
question.
I think
They
5
got a
and
lot of
15
home
does
games
it.
in April again this year,
Yeah,
like
they
they
do.
did 2 years ago.
Yeah.
5, 20, 30 games. Maybe
Oh, I think 5 and
30 games.
15 gets him out of here.
Yeah, it might.
Yeah. I mean, you get 10 games under 500
That
after
soon?
that, yeah, and everyone's just, not even making plans for the summer to come see Fenway,
Yeah.
and then Nessens.
Things will go south fast.
Well, it's easy knowing that Lavulu's there, and
Right.
Yeah, but again, you're going to have to at that point. You're going to have to save the season. You're going to have to bring in a name because Torrey Lavulu is not going to save your season, and that's where Jason Veritek
They got to
comes
have a
in.
better record at home than they did
He's
last
just
year. Last year
fashioning
they
the
lost every
scenario
game.
around his prediction.
Jason
Look,
Veritek.
look.
He's chasing.
No. I'm using the professor's theory. Jason Veritek did not take the Mariners job, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
No, look,
Why? Why did he
Because it
not
was
take
in
that?
Seattle.
Because they didn't want him.
Because
maybe.
he's going to be the co-head
No, no.
manager. He's going to be the co-manager of the Red
I
Sox.
don't imagine them. It's
Yeah.
just easing him in. And won't that be just a brilliant prediction by the Boston
Yes, it
Sports
will.
Media?
Well, look, ultimately, most of your
Maybe
predictions will come true.
a year late, but better late than never.
Yeah, right,
I'm
exactly.
still waiting for the news coming down about how Brady broke his foot last weekend because that I've got
I
text to
tell you,
prove that.
I think,
I have
think that's,
text.
I think
If
Brady's
he doesn't
more,
throw any long balls, we'll know.
he's more injured than we
Yeah.
think he is.
Okay.
And I'm waiting on the trade deadline next year for someone to be off
For
the
Xander?
team.
Yeah.
No,
I think they're gonna move
Price,
Xander.
Price will be traded before the trade
Yeah,
deadline.
no, that's true. That he'll conveniently
No, yeah, David Price is going. Yeah.
before the trade deadline.
But I have another trade for you right now. You guys want to hear this?
Yes, I
do.
All right, so I've read that Robinson Cano, who has this humongous contract with the Mariners, and it's things have gone south for Cano and the Mariners. So, in a salary dump, Cano comes to the Red Sox in exchange for Hanley Ramirez and Pablo Sandoval. The numbers still work out that we'll end up with about $100 million left of Cano's salary.
Oh my God,
okay?
that would be
In a-
amazing.
Wait,
But how many
what
minutes-
position is he going to play?
Plays third or
What's
first?
that? Oh, wait,
Outfield.
We could play first,
Cano?
yeah, third.
or first?
Second
Hendrickson?
base. You mean
That's where I thought you were going.
once Dustin pulls that hamstring and he's going to be back in a
Oh,
couple
no,
of
I
days.
think he can still play second. Do you think so?
Cano?
Yeah.
He just has third baseman written all over him.
Yeah.
at this
Yeah,
Third
he's
base.
getting bigger, older, slower. Yeah.
Well, look, he could even ease into the
He's so
DH
good.
position.
He's a good
after
hitter,
next
great
year.
hitter. Don't get me wrong.
Did you actually read this, or is this just wishful
No,
thinking?
this is what I've. No, it came.
And
to
that's
me.
what Jason Veritek was
no,
doing
no,
in
no,
You said
Seattle.
you read it somewhere.
I
No,
thought you
no,
read
no,
it
no, no.
somewhere.
I read it in my mind.
No.
Yeah, what this is, fellas.
It was one of
This
those
is
moments.
the return
Yeah.
of crazy talk.
No, right. It's the bubble.
There
There's
should be some
constantly,
music.
there's
Crazy
constant
talk.
information
Russ,
coming into the
Jason
bubble.
Veritek was just spying on the Seattle organization by going out and pretending to
Crazy talk.
interview.
You know,
That could be possible.
From your
Yeah.
mouth to God's ears, that would be an amazing deal, but I don't think it's going to happen.
No, look, and again, I wanted because there's been a lot of crazy talk saying that Hanley's going to be on the team in 2016.
Well,
You're
he's
reading that?
working out, Scott.
Oh yeah, and now he had to pose where he's lost 20 pounds. He'll find it. Trust me, he'll find
He'll
it.
find that 20 pounds
fi-
before spring training.
There's again, I want to mention. Do you believe that Hanley Ramirez will ever play
That's
another
the
game
question
for
I
the
was
Red
just
Sox?
going to ask.
I think he will. Yes.
You think he will?
I do.
Unfortunately, think he's our starting first baseman going
I'm-
into next year.
Russ, as usual, is right.
Unfortunately.
You believe that?
Yeah, unfortunately, Russ is right.
So you
Wait,
think the
I
Red
don't know about
Sox are
first
going to?
base.
You think the Red Sox with an over $200 million payroll will cave in to 10% of that payroll because they owe him that 10% of the money?
Well, no one else will take him.
Yeah,
I
don't
think
you
they're
can
also.
get rid
I
of
think
him.
they also think that they have no power at the corners in this team, and that they're going to need 30 home runs from somebody, and they're going to take a shot at it.
But the second half of the season, what do you have? One home run, and then
He set the
They went
record in
home. They
April
went
and he never
home.
won.
I'm not
had
saying
again.
I agree with it. I'm just saying I would not. If you had to put a gun to my head, I'd say, yeah, he's our starting first baseman on April whatever.
Well, I think you may be right, only because it seems to be the Red Sox are feeding the Cafaros of the world information that he's going to be on the team, trying to get the Red Sox fan.
Yeah, they're showing him working out. The whole thing.
trying to get us prepared in some level for
Trying
that.
to get another team to take the bait.
Or, and by the way, maybe both.
Maybe he'll be all right at first because they say that he needs to be engaged. That seems to be the term for this show, but he needs to be engaged. And out in the outfield, he's
Pete's been drinking some Kool-Aid.
I don't want to be.
I'm trying, you
No,
know.
but I'm tired. I don't want to be an enabler. I don't want this early on the season. Can we get the most out of Hanley Ramirez? I don't want that to be
For that kind of money, you shouldn't have to try.
That's
Right,
Yeah.
but I don't want that to be any part of the new dialogue
The
of the Red
narrative,
Sox.
right.
No, I don't want that. So, I mean, absolutely, we need to have him gone. But that's our show for tonight,
Yep.
boys. I want to thank, of course, the boys. I want to thank everyone behind the scenes, including Adrian and Todd. Please check us out on our website at thegrandstanders.com and tune in again next Wednesday night at 6:30 for another edition of the Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman. Have a great night.
Look at that, 4 seconds.
Fade
How long
to
are you going to
black.
hold that?
I just.